Picks. Pick number one.
First, I tried to come in with 3 that were down, and I got 2 of them that are down. I've got Lilly, and I like Lilly because I do a lot of work with 2 different brain foundations for things that are unfortunately wrong with my brain, but it should be like your liver or your elbow. And everyone is pretty positive that I talk to about what's going on with Lilly and Alzheimer's. And I think that that's very important. And they've got a diabetes drug that's going to be big. And everybody hates the drug. So I come in with that one. I like it. I also come in with Honeywell, but that one just ran. It almost makes me feel like that's the end of the rotation into earnings stocks. That's the last one to go. Makes me keep an eye again on Salesforce and whether we should be starting to think about buying those stocks, because Honeywell is the last. When you finally see the laggards, excuse me, Will, when you finally see the laggards go, then that may mean that we're at the third and last day of this rotation. I like Chevron because I just think that oil is still undervalued, even after last year, and the oil companies have newfound discipline. And then I raised my price target for Bausch just now for the investment club. And the reason I did that, why I like it for the investment club, is Joe Papa's done everything you could ask. He's splitting the company into 3. Nobody seems to really care about it. It has got no sponsorship whatsoever. He's cut debt by $10 billion. The Bausch, which is going to be the fundamental piece that you're going to get, is still the premium, the Mercedes of eye care. I really like their skin program, the Salta, because a lot of people don't understand it, but once we beat COVID, people are going to want in. They're going to want to do Fraxel. They're going to want to look better. That's a key part. And then they have a cats and dogs Salix-driven pharmaceutical business that I can do without. But I like a big breakup story, and I think that one is going to be the breakup story of the J&J, GE, and Bausch. I like Bausch Health as the best breakup.
Okay, now let's take these to the committee. Joe, my memory sometimes fails me, but I think you owned Honeywell at one point, and maybe that was within the past few years, 2-3 years. I don't know if you own it anymore, but what do you think about Jim's pick?
Honeywell is like saying the Patriots are going to make the playoffs. I mean, it's a reliable, consistent, and expected outcome. So I love that pick.
Oh, great.
Chevron, Mike Wirth, he's the best executive in the energy business by far. Bausch, I understand, and the management of the balance sheet, they're reducing debt, they're doing a good job. I think Carl Icahn has a big allocation in this stock as well. The one that's interesting to me, Eli Lilly. Sorry, Jim, I would have went in another direction with that one, and really? I'm actually going to buy this stock at the end of the day. Merck, pull up a chart of Merck today. Merck is breaking out. The growth portfolio is completely undervalued. I think Merck is the best setup right now for large cap healthcare.
Well, if Merck goes up, then Lilly will follow. And some of the things that are going on with the Alzheimer's drug versus the Biogen drug, I think the Biogen drug is a farce. Should never have been approved by what's become a very rogue agency, which is the FDA. The rogue, there isn't anything that they're not doing. It's rogue. No one knows what they're really up to. I think it's a travesty. But they approved the Biogen, even though the committee of 10 said it wasn't worth anything. The Lilly has much better results against Alzheimer's, and I think it's going to be one of the biggest stories for 2022 and 2023.
Link, Stephanie Link, the Linkster, you own Chevron.
I do. I've owned it for a very long time. This is a wonderful company. It has lagged Exxon last year by 30%, which it's like head scratching. So wow. I love the pick. I think it plays catch up, Jim. You know they've got great assets, not only in the Permian, Gulf of Mexico, Tengiz. They've done smart M&A. The CapEx is on the low end. They're buying back stock. By the way, I think the buyback news of $3 to $5 billion for this year, I think they could get to $8 billion by 2025. So there's a lot they can do. Their break even is $50 a barrel. So we got a lot of room there. So I like the pick very much. And by the way, it is my largest energy position. I'm 300 basis points overweight fantastic. My bench.
All right.
And don't forget that they upped their ESG from $3 billion to $10 billion. Why? Because Mike heard. He watched what happened to Exxon. And by the way, they're not throwing money away. They want to make money with the $10 billion. Joe, you're sorry. I mean, Mike Wirth is cut of a different cloth. I do like Rick Moncrief very much from Devon. Scott Sheffield, really terrific at Pioneer. But the rest of them are just kind of their followers, and Mike is the leader.
Let me ask you this, Jim, because what I really wanted you to do as well today as our non-executive chairman of the committee, is critique some of the other picks from our stock summit. Now, we've already talked about Bank of America, which was one of Stephanie Link's picks. She does have IBM as one of her 3. What do you think?
IBM's had a fabulous run.
Would that be one of yours?
No. IBM has had a fabulous run. I mean, I cannot believe where it's come from in a very short period of time. I mean, this stock was in the teens. It just went to 141. I got to see this quarter. This quarter should still be a mess because of the split up with Kyndryl. And then when I see that, then I want to take a look. But I think at 120, it was kind of worth the risk. But, Steph, you know this quarter may not be beautiful. You said already, listen, you got to wait till the end of the year. I'm just saying this stock may be jumping the gun, Stephanie.
13.5 times earnings, 4.8% dividend yield while you wait for the restructuring. And you know better than anybody, restructurings take a long time.
Yes.
Look at what happened with GE. That's been a 3-year turnaround, but yet they're making progress, baby steps, and it kind of works in lumps, right? The stock works in lumps. Same thing with IBM. Nobody owns this thing. I think there are like 2 or 3 buys from the sell side. Everybody else is holds because nobody really knows what they're doing. And I think this CEO has done a great job in terms of M&A, especially in high growth, high margin areas. It wasn't just Red Hat, but it was 20-plus other deals that they've been doing in, again, cloud, AI, in blockchain, and quantum computing. Everybody's all jazzed up about quantum computing. Well, they're actually focused on that piece, too, and they're not getting credit, nor should they. But I do think they are going to make baby steps throughout the year. And again, no one really owns it, and you get a 4.8 yield, which is well covered. By the way, $40 billion in between free cash flow and debt optionality. So they're going to be buying back a ton of stock, or maybe they're going to be increasing their dividend while you wait.
But don't you have to worry about price? I mean, honestly, I think that this is one where the run, and it worries me for a lot of the stocks that I'm watching, the run is so great that I feel like at this point I have to caveat how much I like IBM. I think Chris is doing a terrific job. I've spent a lot of time with the company. I really like it, but I just have to let price dictate to me a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to come in. Let's say I like it and I pound the table, and then tomorrow someone says, it goes to 137. And I'm not that sensitive to what people say about it, but I'm just saying that, the spike may not be sustainable. How about that?
From 112 to 146.
In how many days?
Right. That's the 52-week spread from 112 to 146 and now sitting at 141. Your point's well taken. What about, Jim, some of the gaming plays that we've gotten? Stephanie Link is in Wind. John Najarian picked MGM.
My Chapel Trust has a position in Win, and I have donned the hair suit in this. I've been very upset about it. First, Matt Maddox is leaving. I think he's great. Second, the Chinese crackdown is so for real that they've really, both in terms of rich people, junkets, although Win is only about 16% junket, but they are obviously trying to stop COVID. And then what's happened here is that the United States is very good versus, say, Las Vegas Sands, because they've been trending out of U.S., but it's just not enough to offset. And Scott, when you have a stock like this, and I write about this for the Investor Club notes, you're really just heartsick. I'm heartsick about where this is because I didn't see Omicron coming. I didn't see the Chinese crackdown coming. So I've been wrong. I think the valuation is crazy. $10 billion, it would cost you $13 billion to build all that. But you know what? I'm wrong. And when I'm wrong, what I do is I say in the club bulletins is say, here's how I screwed up. And that's where I am with Win right now. Here's how I screwed up.
Who saw either of those coming? I mean, I don't know anybody who did. Let me ask you this lastly, Jim, before we go. So Terranova picks healthcare as his sector. He's got United Health as one of his picks.
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut, right?
Juggernaut.
Let's throw up United Health because I'm going to pull up UNH right now. I don't have the performance right in front of me.
Oh, it's beautiful. Let me tell you the one that's just, there's a lot of interest in Humana. A lot of people focus on Humana, too. That's an interesting name. Mm-hmm. These are both terrific. I like Centene.
Why don't you own United Health then, Jim?
Because I'm not as smart as I'd like to be. I've written many times that this one, I have a piece tonight. Say, how did I miss it? How did I miss it? And the answer is I've been waiting for, say, a 5-day period of a decline, and it doesn't give you that. So the answer is, why am I not in United Health? Because I was not thoughtful enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to wait for dip. I'm just going to buy it.
But now is it too expensive? It's gone too far for you to recommend buying it here? Is that what you would also say?
I think it should buy some here.
Oh, okay?
Yeah. I was wrong. I bought Win. and I'm wrong to wait on United Health, but I don't want to wait too long because United Health, and Steph, you know this, United Health's not that expensive on next year's earnings.